Johnny Vaughan.
Right, let's hit it.
Radio X.
This is the Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 Thang podcast. Speak, Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 Thang gang.
Thang gang.
Thang gang. How are you, Thang gang?
Great.
Yeah?
How are you?
Not too bad. I had a nice week on the show this week.
It's been a really fun week.
Plus,
it was a short week.
Well, I know you find the show quite interesting, as you said.
I do.
From time to time.
I think I said it was quite entertaining.
You said you find it quite entertaining. Yeah. Which is not the same as when people go, it was quite spectacular. Which means it was very spectacular.
That's right.
You haven't used quite to build it up in that way.
Quite means not that.
Yeah, it means not that in this instance. I always find the variant uses of quite are quite extraordinary.
Have you? In America, it means unbelievably.
Yes. Well, sometimes
it was quite expensive. They mean it was really expensive.
But it's weird because that show QI.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. It's about the only instance I can think of where it means not that interesting.
Yes.
It's quite interesting. It doesn't mean, but whereas if you put it before fascinating, it means very fascinating, like quite fascinating.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Whereas if you put it before interesting, it's about the only time that word quite just sort of means. Yeah. Which is weird that they do that because they must have known that. Those guys are really clever and stuff. Coming up, Killer Caterpillars, Online Ovens, Random Graffiti, Martin's Hot Tap, and we reveal the chosen name. This is a load of crap, isn't it? I mean, what are we doing on this show?
No, it's great.
We reveal the chosen name of our Radio X racing pigeon. I think you'll find it quite entertaining.
Quite entertaining.
Radio X.
I teased you a bit, didn't I, at the start of this hour? Because I said I'll be asking you the question, what would 7 out of 10 drivers not spot if they were listening to a traffic report? I can tell you now, research for this was done in a simulator, University College Dublin and University College Cork, so two good universities, okay? Yep. They asked 36 motorists to complete a course in a driving simulator while listening to a traffic update. But what did they? While the traffic update was on the radio in these cars, what do you think they failed to spot by the side of the road?
Because they were concentrating on the traffic report.
Just because as soon as the traffic report came on, and that takes away the concentration, the power of traffic news. I had no idea.
A tiger.
No, all right, no, it's not. But you nearly did it. Go on.
I'm joking. Go on.
It's like a tiger.
It's like a tiger. Yes.
Is it? What?
Is it a lion?
No, bigger.
Is it a giraffe?
Bigger. No, bigger. Actually, it was a gorilla.
Oh.
No.
They stuck a gorilla by the side.
I was just
of
being facetious.
Of course you were, Gav. It's your default mentality.
Exactly.
They stuck a gorilla by the side of the road.
Yes, they put a gorilla by the side and an elephant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the elephant, obviously, there's a few more spotted that, but no one. But literally, I'll read you now. 7 in 10 drivers would not spot a gorilla at the side of the road if they were listening to a traffic report.
Are these drivers sober?
I've got to tell you, when I hear a traffic report, it's because none of it is ever relevant to where I'm driving.
Right. Yeah.
Or I'm actually in that traffic jam.
Yes. It's never a half of.
Yeah, and
way.
watch out for the.
Yeah.
So
a heavy traffic build-up on the. I'm thinking, cheers. Cheers, like 10 minutes ago, I'd have missed that. Yeah. Are you following me, sons?
Being that we don't do traffic reports on Radio X, does that mean if you're listening, you're much more likely to see all those gorillas at the side of the road?
Yes.
Good point.
So if you do spot a gorilla by the side of the road, because we got, exactly right.
While listening to gorillas.
Very good, sons. Yeah, in fact, that's why we did it.
Right.
So people can spot
more gorillas
unusual...
will be spotted.
Yeah, so people can spot unusual things by the side of the road. Radio X, no traffic news. Anyway, although motorists may feel they keep abreast of jams, may feel that keeping abreast of jams will aid their safety, researchers believe attending to traffic reports prevents drivers from focusing on some more important tasks.
Like spotting gorillas.
Gorillas. No, but that could be, that could be critical in certain situations. I've got to tell you, I can't stand gorillas.
Why?
Because they've lost, and they just don't play the game.
What game?
Well, they're always looking at you like, they're always told not to, don't catch their eyes. Why?
They're just bitter, aren't they?
Because they'll just rip you, they'll just beat you to death with your own arms. And I'm thinking, if you just played the game a bit.
X. This is Radio X.
This is the Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 thing. Now, as you know, we've been given a pigeon, a racing pigeon, a really good one.
Really fast one, yeah.
Which has been kept in a loft. We haven't got to look after it, we're going to do anything.
No.
We just own this pigeon now, which is really good news. We were given it by the chairman of the British Pigeon Racing Association. And the great news is that you're going to name it. Sunta Templeton is, I think, down. Hopefully, she's got down there now.
Yeah,
it's
she
just the
should be
floor
there.
below us. But hopefully, we go. Sunta, are you in the call centre there, Suns?
Hello, Johnny.
Suns.
Oh, that's a better line today.
That's much better.
much clearer.
That's much clearer.
Oh,
You've got to still get.
there's,
Have you?
there's some delays.
You go. You talk. You talk. And
Okay. So we've got it's P Day. I'm calling it.
okay.
It's P Day.
Clap it in, guys.
We've got some pigeon results.
Okay. Naming the pigeon. It's a big day.
It is a big day. There's a lot of excited people in the call centre.
I'm so excited. I've got a vested interest and in this because I've really championed one of the names particularly. We've all championed our own names. It's been a lot of bitterness around this. How's the mood in the call centre? Because I know it's been the traffic has been pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's been a really busy last couple of days of voting.
Yeah.
To kind of up morale, Trish brought in some Mars bars and roller cola today, which has
Did she?
really helped.
Roller cola.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roller cola?
Is that a really very cheap brand? Because Trish is thrifty, to say the least.
Yeah.
Are they real Mars bars?
Wow.
Have a look. It's not a NARS bar or something. I don't know, but she strikes me as.
I'll check. But the sugar boosters helped. Would
Yeah.
you like the results?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, first off, let's look at the losers, the bottom end of the table.
Okay.
The names which didn't really get much going on in terms
So
of
stop
voting.
it! It's so tense. Can I say
right-
thank you to everyone who's voted?
Yes.
Win or lose, I can't finish that one.
No. So at the bottom of the table, we have, sharing just a few percent between them, Thunderstrike, Desert Eagle,
Genius.
and Falcor.
I'm sad Falcor finished so
know.
low.
So sorry for Falcor.
I'm sorry for Falcor.
And I quite like Desert Eagle.
Falcor.
Bringing up
Who
the
came up with
middle,
I don't
the
know.
middle of the table, and
Yeah.
not much between any of these, was the X-Wing, Razor Flight, Coup Fighters, and the Kaiser.
The Kaiser.
And now we can
That was a late entry.
move into the top three.
Go on.
Okay, Sons, you're playing with us like a cat with mice.
At number 3,
Yep.
the notorious P-I-G-E-O-N.
Gavin's nomination.
It was an early favourite.
It was, yeah. Early runner.
At number 2, it's a sad day for Maverick. Goose at number 2.
Tony!
Which means, of course, that the winner is
Yes, go on! Come on, Tony!
the pigeon.
Tony the pigeon!
Go on, Tony!
Go on, Tony!
Of all the wonderful, clever, pigeon pun, bird-based names,
Tony.
we ended up with Tony.
Tony. But what's great is I was just. It really works. I made myself really laugh. I was walking to the studio today, and this pigeon was sort of standing in front of me. It wouldn't get out of the way.
Yeah.
And we got into this sort of bit of a standoff. And I leant down and I just went, "Focus, Tony!" And it just, I can't wait to be able to just shout at the skies, "Go on, Tony!"
We have a racing pigeon called Tony now.
Tony Pigeon.
And he's going to be racing in the summer.
Yep. Hello, Tony Pigeon. You've come straight through to Tony.
Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Radio X.
Welcome to Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7. Thing! There's more outside. Sorry, we've got a crowd in the studio. Now there's more crowding to get in.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. That's right up by the glass gap. It's gone crazy out
When
there.
did we
We
get
have
so
a-
popular?
I think that, do you know what? I just think it's like a bottleneck on the tour. Do you know what I mean? They've shut an attraction. Okay. You'll have to come to Radio X, I'm afraid. Move along, there's nothing to see here. I've got some bad news, guys.
What?
A plague of caterpillars. You know, we've had Spanish bluebells invading this country,
Yeah.
threatening to rip apart our national bluebell.
That's right, yeah. And we had some other wasps as well, didn't we?
Chinese super wasp.
That's right,
It
yeah.
was threatening to kill our own.
Vicious.
Yeah. Grey squirrels, of course, German. But we've had a plague. This is. I don't know if this is true or not because it's in the Star. But a plague of caterpillars that can trigger asthma attacks and fevers is invading Britain.
Wow.
Despite being billed as killer caterpillars, but evidently they don't kill.
They don't call them wheezy caterpillars.
No. But if they actually were killer caterpillars, that would be something to be alarmed
Be
about.
big news.
Yes.
Yeah.
12,000 people were killed by caterpillars.
That's
at the
right.
weekend.
That's a massive
It's
story.
a big story.
And something to get nervous about as
Yes.
well, yeah.
Well, especially because they've swamped areas across the southeast and they're set to spread nationwide. Now, the Star know this because they can tell by the look in their eyes. They know what they're set to do. They see motive. Do you know what I mean? Look at those caterpillars out there.
With all those hairs on them.
I know exactly what they're set to do. Oh, yeah. Look at him. He's all set to spread.
Yeah, they use that word a lot in football transfer speculation
Yes,
as well.
it's all
don't they?
set.
All set to happen, yeah.
I'll tell you about this thing, okay? The toxic oak processionary moth. That's what these caterpillars are going to grow into. A toxic oak processionary moth.
Doesn't sound good. I'll be
No,
honest.
it doesn't
No.
sound good, especially because it's got 63,000 hairs.
Wow.
And the Star don't throw that stat in just gratuitously.
No, they just want to make me feel
No, I
jealous.
tell you why. Those 63,000 hairs are very relevant, Captain.
All 63,000 of them.
They are, because touching one can cause severe skin rashes, asthma attacks, iron throat irritations, vomiting, dizziness and fevers.
Wow.
Which sounds like the small print on most things I buy from the chemist.
It does, yeah.
And people do not even need to come into contact with the pests, as their poisonous hairs can be carried in the wind.
What?
Oh no, that's quite scary.
Now that is scary.
Yeah, because I generally avoid caterpillars day to day,
Yeah.
so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
But if it's just gonna
But you cannot
randomly get on me,
or say one got in the aircon.
Yeah. And then straight into your eyeball.
Yeah, exactly right.
Straight away.
For 63,000, you put one caterpillar in there. That'd take out the Emirates Stadium.
It would.
Doesn't that seat 63,000?
It does, yeah. 60,000, roughly.
What a coincidence?
No, maybe not. Vicious.
No, seriously. Is it a coincidence, you think? That's exactly what the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal plays, seats, and there's 63,000
I
airs.
think there should be an inquiry.
Leave a whole
at least.
stadium
Yeah.
with throat irritations, vomiting, dizziness, and fevers. Like that's just a team.
Radio X.
Sunta, I think our friends at the Telegraph have a look, and I think also our friend at My Supermarket. I think they want to get in the Foodsy Spindex. I've noticed we haven't had any food stories since we really sort of, since the Foodsy Spindex
Well, you think we've scared them off?
became the phenomenon it is. Phenomenon.
Phenomenized.
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 It's been phenomenalized.
phenomenalized.
There's been some phenomenalization.
What are you talking about?
I think they're playing up to the Foodsy Index. I say that because listen to this for an article, right, sons? If they're not virtually writing my script,
Yeah.
I don't know what is. You ready? You ready, Gav?
Go on.
The price of salad is plummeting as supermarkets cut the cost of fruit and vegetables. Down by 11% a month. Onions, 12% cheaper than they were in March. They're down. Fresh peppers down 7%. Broccoli has dropped 6% cheaper. And that's true. They've
So
actually
obviously
put that in.
they've grown a lot of
Yes,
veg. They need to get rid of it.
Onions are 12% down on March. It comes after the Competition and Markets Authority named and shamed a leading supermarket. Do you know why?
Why?
They've been offering confusing multi-buy deals to make customers spend more. What? Supermarket offers deal to make customers spend
It's
more.
confusing when you're faced-
Scandal.
Yes.
Buy one, get one free. That's very confusing.
No, I
isn't
find
it?
the buy two, get the third free one just really does my head in. Because sometimes I buy one, and
Yeah.
then you sort of think, all right, I'll get the other one then. And you I may as well get two.
Yeah.
And then you go there because it's a 2-for-1 deal. And you get to the counter, they go, if you buy two, you get the third one. You're thinking, I don't really want the second one. I don't really want the second one. No, I'm going to get a third one. But it's like still lemonade, right on the sell-by date.
They're virtually shoving it into your pockets.
Incidentally, they developed this pill, Gav. I say this because it does tie in with sell-by dates. Gav, have you read about this pill?
Yeah, it's the size of a grain of sand, and
No, within the pill is something the size of a grain of
oh,
sand.
that's right. Yeah, and it tells you when you're supposed to take your pill.
Yes.
Your next one.
It tells you when you're meant to, it beeps when you're meant to take your pill.
Something inside the pill.
It's something
beeps.
inside the
And then
pill.
you're going to swallow that.
Yes.
That's a terrible idea.
No, I thought you meant believe it. What, you're going to swallow that, John? Yeah, if I believe it, sons. Yeah, I don't think newspapers lie to be necessary. Not about something like that.
Yeah, you don't really want to swallow a
What,
beeper,
you're
do
going to
you?
swallow that rubbish? No, it is a little bit. But I suddenly thought it'd be so good if food did tell you when it was past its sell-by date. Because sometimes checking the whole fridge, especially my fruit and veg compartments, you can find some really soggy old tomatoes in there. Just anyway, if I could open the bread bin, it just went stale tomorrow. Stale. If I had food that talks to me, the milk goes. You open it up, it goes, don't drink it! Don't drink it!
Don't even smell it.
When you're hungover, sometimes you go for that other carton of milk, you think, oh, it's a fresh one. You don't realise it's actually older than the one that's halfway through. It goes, don't even think about it, son. Just stick me down the gobbler.
I would be awful in my everything in my fridge is always out of date. It would be so noisy in there every time I open
would you?
it.
Like a football
It'd be like a riot.
Would it?
Terrible.
You're going home, ambulance. Yeah, right. I'll be like it mine.
Radio X.
I need a new hobby.
Yeah.
Although it is starting to occur to me.
That this is your hobby.
Looking for hobbies.
Yeah, you're a hobbyologist.
I'm a hobbyologist. But I've got a brand new one this week. So let's meet Donald Melville, who's on the line. Donald, hello there.
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
Great, thanks. Fantastic.
You are organizer of, tell us.
The World Stone Skimming Championships.
Which I got so excited about. Do you know, Donald?
I love skimming.
I love skimming.
stones.
As a kid, I used to go on holiday in the Isle of Man, which is quite similar to the Inner Hebrides. It's a rugged coastline with good, smooth, roundish, flat stones. And it is. And
we've had the benefit of the Atlantic washing the stones and rounding them perfectly for us.
absolutely right. And it's nothing more satisfying than when you've got a bit of flat water and you go out. Have you always just done it since you're a kid?
Yeah, pretty much. Just wandering around the shorelines. I've lived in Argyll all my life, and just one of the things you pick up when you're a kid. I think everybody does when they're on the shore, don't they?
Can you remember the first time you saw the miracle of it? Because I can remember my dad showing me how to skim a stone, and I just couldn't believe it seemingly defied all laws of stone, water, and throwing.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right, does it? That something as heavy as a stone that will sink should bounce along the water.
But when you get your first one that just keeps going,
I know.
It's like a miracle.
Well, it was even more special when you're doing it in an event and you pull off one of your best throws.
And everyone sees it.
Well, Donald, this is what I was next going to ask you about. Does pressure... I wouldn't like that kind of pressure, like you get in golf when you're going off a tee. Sometimes I tend to crumble in the face of that. do you find that improves your skimming?
I think it concentrates the efforts, yes. When you've got maybe 300 or 400 people watching you, you tend to sort of pull off your best throw.
Wait a second. You're getting 300 or 400 people there?
We get about 700 or 800 people in the course of the day arriving on the island. And when you think the population of the island is only 60, it's a bit of an influx.
Yeah. Okay. And I've got down here that winners are judged by the distance your stone goes, not the skips.
Not the number of bounces.
No, it's got to bounce at least twice to be valid. The stone can be no more than 3 inches in diameter, and it's got to sink within a lane that would delineate with 2 rows of buoys.
Okay.
The buoys are marked every 5 metres.
By that you mean BUOYS, not just two children you make swim, and they've got to sit there and watch out for stones.
They're tough kids up there.
You probably get a bigger crowd.
It's not some youth work initiative, no.
No, it's a good idea though for ASBO kids.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Might catch
Yes.
on.
You'll be sent to Easdale to become boys for the skimming, and may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
We'll make boys out of these men, yeah.
You're absolutely right. So, what's been your biggest distance, Donald?
Mine personally is about 52 metres, but I'm not one of the best by any stretch.
52 metres?
Meters?
Yeah.
How many was it just one big bounce, is that?
No, because it's got to bounce twice, remember?
It's got to bounce twice?
Yeah, but it was, I don't know how many it would have been, maybe 25 or 30.
Wow.
Okay.
But we also count where it sinks rather than where it stops bouncing, because it's almost impossible to guess where... or to see where it stops in a bounce and becomes a skim.
But you've got someone out in the water, so you can kind of get more of an idea of exactly where it's gone. You're not just judging it from the shore, because otherwise that would lead to lots of arguments.
What we do is that the lane of buoys that goes out, we'd sit judges along one wall of the quarry, and the buoys are marked every 5 metres, so they can see off the distance. And
Do you know what? I'm really tempted to go for this.
I really want to see
We
it.
should do the show from there, and maybe even the Radio X skimming championships, and we could go
why
up
not?
there.
Are you allowed to cheat and varnish your stones
No.
or anything like that?
No, they've got to be naturally formed from Eastdale slate.
Could you just say naturally formed again? It was a lovely burr. Please, Donald.
Naturally formed from Eastdale slate.
Just how I like my ladies. Okay, Donald, do you know what?
Easy, Tiger.
If it's the Radio X World Stone Skimming Championships live from Eastdale, Donald, thank you so much. You've been live from Eastdale, and excellent to hear from you.
No, but can I just say, it's the 25th of September this year, if anybody fancies it, and maybe you should come along and sample some of the local whiskies, Johnny.
I'd love to. I love Scotch. Scotchy.
Stop it.
This is Radio X.
Okay, Gav.
Yes.
Have you got any internet-enabled devices that are like home things, like a home alarm, an oven, a
Well,
fridge?
I'm just doing my house up. I was thinking about it.
Don't.
Really?
This is the paradox of progress, because devices linked to a leading phone manufacturer's platform,
Yeah.
the platform they offer, they can now be hacked. And so people have had their ovens hacked.
Why would you hack someone's oven?
Just for a laugh.
Oh, okay.
Just because you think you spawny get, and you think, oh, hook your oven up to the internet, would you?
Right.
You could jack someone's heating up in the summer. You could just hack in and just jack someone's heating right up.
You could
They
really
come
ruin someone's Sunday dinner.
Yes.
They think they've put the oven on.
Yes.
They've left it alone for a good hour and a half before they're going to go back
Yeah.
for basting.
Christmas Day would be
Nothing.
carnage.
What I'd like to say,
Stop the
it would just be
turkey ovens.
awful. You just completely do Christmas Day. There's a big protest.
That's a modern version of if you had the same remote as someone in your street.
Yes.
Which I used to...
And you walk down the street and flick their telly onto something they don't want.
My Auntie Cheryl used to live opposite Cliff Richard.
Right.
And he had the same telly as her in the very early days of remote controls.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, this is in North London, when we were kids, we used to be able to change over his TV.
No.
Yeah. So you look for right into his front room, you to change his TV over when he lived in North London. Yeah. It's really funny.
Did you ever figure it out? That it was
No,
you?
no, he just used to look baffled. Once he was watching television in there with Hank Marvin, and we were opposite at my Auntie Shirley's house.
This sounds like a sketch.
No, it's
Come
not.
on,
It's true.
seriously.
It's really basic. We like jug jug, and you see him turn around and go, "What?" You just see two fingers just getting up, changing the telly, and getting across. Did it
Yeah,
during
because you
Wimbledon.
had to get up.
Did it during Wimbledon.
Excellent.
Okay. Anyway, the paradox of progress. I've never looked at my oven and thought, God, I mean, ovens, put on 180, leave it.
Yes.
I've never thought, I mean, all right, what people think.
Wait a few minutes, put the food in.
It takes about 10, 15 minutes to preheat an oven max. Is your life really on that tight a schedule?
Yeah.
I've got to have that oven preheated by the time I get. This is what I mean. I wish these guys would think up, of how the internet and technology can help us.
Yeah, don't solve problems that don't need solving.
My house alarm, that can mess up quite happily by itself. I don't need an app there as well. That vulnerability, man, I've just got to push buttons on the wall. But just like, if you're out, a door just blowing slightly in the wind, that'll get it going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you think to yourself, they've got internet fridges. So it'll notice what's in your fridge and start
That's weird.
telling you what to shop, and then it'll order it directly from a supermarket. I mean, the last thing you need is like a whole van showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just for you, I'm afraid you ordered the food, so it's all on your credit card.
Yeah,
This
your
is-
fridge ordered it for you, sir.
This is the paradox of progress. Okay, do you know what I think we underestimate sometimes? Imitation is such a great form of flattery that we think so busily of getting machines to do things that we can. We think, isn't that really clever? Without thinking, aren't we clever to be able to do that? Like reverse into a parking space.
Yeah.
A car does it by itself. We're thinking, isn't that car amazing?
So we need machines to do things we can't do.
We can't do.
Yeah.
Right. I could quite happily park and turn an oven off
Yes.
and on.
Yes.
Ish.
Unless you've left it on.
Yes. But I'm a good parker.
Radio
X.
The Rock Show, Blink 182. Do you know I sang with them for 2 gigs
Where?
when their single was out? Birmingham, the old NEC, and
What, live on the stage?
yes, I was their singer.
There
I was
you
their singer, yeah. I'm starting to lie more because
Yeah.
my life isn't that exciting. And I find what happens is I just get more attention and I seem more interesting.
Yeah, I ran the marathon on Sunday.
Did you? How'd you get on?
Yeah, I did quite well.
I didn't see you.
No, well, hopefully no one.
What was your time? What was your time?
That was about
2.5 hours, I did.
about I don't know, half an hour.
Were you wearing a costume?
I just thought it's quite an easy thing to lie about, isn't it?
Don't you but don't you love legendary liars?
Like what?
We know a few of them. We've talked about them. Those guys who still go on legendary lying.
What, still do it? Even as
Yes,
grown adults?
even now, yes.
It's true. Yeah.
Oh, God, I love legendary liars. I really do. I used to love them at school as well. I used to want to be one.
What was the one about the stunt men in the deep?
Oh, that's a friend of ours, yeah.
What did he say he'd done? He taught the stunt men?
No, he challenged another friend of ours to a swimming race. And
that's right. Yeah.
And our rotund friend challenged a thinner friend who's got an athlete to a swimming race. And then as our thinner friend walked off, our rotund friend, who is known, being scarce, being a bit easy on the truth, he asserted to the lads, he goes, he hasn't got a chance. We're going, why not? He's gone, well, I'm a great swimmer. I go, how are you great? We go, how are you a great swimmer? He goes, I did all the stunt coordination for the film The Deep.
Which would have made him about...
No, that's the next thing.
Right.
Is the film was actually on a couple of days later. And someone looked at the end and worked out that our rotund friend, let's just call him Al.
Yeah.
He'd have had to have been 11 to have done the stunt coordinator for the film In the Deep. And anyway, he's had the argument with another friend of ours, Jim, who's lived opposite this kid since they were babies.
Yes, they know each other forever.
They've known each other since they were babies, yeah? Get this, yeah? They've argued about it. Get this, yeah? It's a true story. And this is what I love about a good liar, yeah? You can't corner him. He comes up, he says, Al, you were never the stunt coordinator on the film The Deep. He's going, I was. He's going, no, we checked the date last night. You'd have to have been 11. And he looked at him, yeah?
Yeah.
And he looked at him and he says, how old do you think I am, Jim? Well, he's not missing 10 years, on an 11-year-old kid.
How old do you think I am? Well, you're the same age as me.
Yeah. We went to school together, but he said it with a smile, like he had sympathy.
Like he knew something.
How old do you think I am, Jim?
Desperation.
He wouldn't let us go to any of his kickboxing tournaments. I can't fight when there's people.
Radio X. Johnny Vaughan.
Random graffiti.
Seemingly meaningless.
Random graffiti.
Why don't you send it in to us? It all started when I saw the word lager written in large letters on a wall in Clapham Junction.
Yeah.
Then you sent your examples of odd and often meaningless graffiti. And they've been coming ever since. It is our blue ribbon item. Yeah.
This was seen in the park in Harrow. I love this one. Cheese is the opiate of the people.
It's true.
That's quite profound.
It is
because if you took away everyone's cheese overnight,
man, don't even
we'd have some serious problems,
there.
wouldn't we?
Don't even go there.
Rioting.
Don't. Okay, go on, Suds.
Leon sent this in. At the back of my shop in Great Yarmouth, someone has graffitied, Adam likes to lick cars. It's quite an accusation, that.
Do you know what? I love it when it's personal and it's detailed.
Yes.
I don't even mind if you lie to me about these. Okay, here's one for you. Random graffiti on the back of a horse box. Someone's written... Have you read it? This is gold. On the back of a horse box. Someone's written, does my bum look big in this? Clap it in, guys.
That's from Carl in St. Helens.
Because you can always see just those buttocks of horses.
That's all you see. Yeah.
That's all you see. That's genius. Okay, I'm just down in Caerphilly. This is on the toilet wall in a dark and dingy ruined pub in Budapest. Someone had scrawled, Mary Berry is my Jesus.
Alison sent this one in. On a pavement in Southport was written the word rat, capital letters, 3 exclamation marks, and an arrow pointing to a dead rat. The person who wrote rat could have just kicked the dead rat into the road, but instead chose to highlight the rat on the pavement.
Okay, I can tell you something now. Yeah, that person placed that rat there. Which came first, the rat or the graffiti?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, tough question.
I got one here from Dion Hunt. He saw scratched into the wood on a park bench, don't trust the Dutch.
And how shrewd. One more, Gav.
At my university halls of residence, there was a laundry room and the walls were plastered with graffiti, my favourite of which said, your mum wears snow boots.
Genius. She says, no idea why, but it still makes me chuckle. 15 years on.
That's from Matt in Letchworth. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Letchworth is always... Did I tell you this already, Gav?
No idea.
There's a sign, I think it's the A505, goes to Letchworth and Baldock. And I was once stuck in traffic going along there, and it was really weird because the sign had fallen off. Just half of the sign had fallen off.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to keep level with this beautiful woman who was in traffic.
Yeah.
And I was trying, you have a traffic jam, you think, oh,
Yeah.
you try and keep a bit level. Not in a sort of stalky, weird way.
Yeah.
But what was weird is that the sign had fallen off. I looked up and it just said Bald Lech. I thought, oh, cheers. When road signs are pointing out your faults.
Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Radio X.
I spoke to you about Prince Harry earlier. He just keeps giving. He just doesn't stop, the guy.
What's he doing now?
Well, aside from doing this, starting these games they're doing in America for service people, he's talking today that it's heartbreaking. Really, he starts off. He says Prince Harry. He's admitted he doesn't have that many memories of his mum that are left.
Yeah.
Because he was only 12 when she died. And sometimes because they're princes, people, it's weird, they would dehumanise them and take away, just basic emotions like that and a basic attachment like that. We can't relate. You sort of think they've got loads of people around them. It's not as individual.
Yeah, whereas it's actually identical.
Yes. Yeah, it may be worse to leave you more isolated because you're also in a shop window.
Yeah.
To have your grief. It's not private grief. Plus, you've got to read some of the stuff he's had to read in the papers since, and speculation about things, and conspiracy. I mean,
horrible.
We can't imagine what it's like to lose your mum and have that going with it. And sometimes it's hard to think. It's just there's a human being underneath it all. I know it sounds like a speech from a Richard Curtis film, but the Prince, who was 12 when his mum died in a car crash in Paris, has often said he thinks about her every day. He suggested in an interview that his first-hand recollection of her was fading, which I thought was really quite poignant. But sometimes he thinks, do you know what? She probably loved what I'm doing now. But he admitted, he says, I don't have that many memories of my childhood with my mum. I don't say, right, I'm going to get involved in that because that's what my mum would want me to do. Though inevitably once I'm doing it, I think, do you know what? She'd probably love this. But what he did say is that whenever he goes on tour, they always ask, or kids always ask him where his crown is. And they really get cheesed off with him not having a crown. So he says for his next visit to America, he's gonna pack a crown. He says he says every time I get to meet kids and they've been told a real life prince is coming, he says the disappointment on their faces when they see me without a crown or without a cape. So I'm packing a crown and a cape this time and some funny pointy toed shoes. He says I'm worried.
Disney prince.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He says I'm worried because the American kids, especially the Invictus Games are by Disney World.
Oh God.
So he's going to add a bit of magic there. And I think do you know something? If he actually did that, actually turned up wearing a comedy crown and he is a prince.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Takes you into weird areas of irony.
It really does.
What a prince dressing really like a royal prince.
A Disney
The
prince.
Disney prince with tights on and a tunic
Yeah.
and those weird shorts.
Yes. Yes, what are those?
I don't know.
Well, those
Pantaloons.
knickerbockers. I don't know what they are.
Knickerbockers, pantaloons, something like that.
They look quite comfy though.
They do, really.
Yeah. Well, he's already said it. He wears tights while he's on his motorbike,
Of course.
which the Sun chose to then put a picture of him wearing stockings just to make it a bit sleazy. Which is, you read the article, had a picture of Prince Harry wearing like seamed stockings, and it was like his stocking Royal Highness or whatever. And I was thinking, no, he just says he wears tights to keep himself warm, but
He was joking.
But it's not sleazy enough. I know, Prince's secret tranny shock. Anyway, he says, I'm worried because the American kids, especially at Disney World, are going to be thinking, you ain't no prince. You're not dressed like a prince. And there you go. He's going to wear... John, if he did that, big donation from everyone here at Radio X.
Yes.
I'll sling a nifty in. Go for the crown and tights. 50 from each of us.
Radio X.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin in the Radio X office has had a broken hot tap for over 2 years, which inspired the feature Martin's Hot Tap. He needs a brand new one, but he can't be asked to get it done. Martin's Hot Tap, been broken for so long, but what have you fixed that went wrong? Every week we add another layer. You might hear it getting louder. We've calculated that is now 728 people singing.
You've made that up.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I lie a hell of a lot. Johnny, I have needed to defrost the freezer for over 12 months. So much so, it won't even open anymore. I had a paper scissors.
I've done this before.
I've done it loads of times because it just gets too overwhelming.
It does.
I ended up throwing a fridge out. It just broke itself. I had a paper, scissors, stone comp with the wife to decide who should do it. I lost, but can't be asked. So I'm getting a new one instead. I'll plug it in next to the old one. What I love about that touch is you can't be asked to move the old one.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have an old fridge that's just broken and he's going to have his new one. A genius.
Stephen sent this one in. Wife's been bugging me to hang a mirror for over a year now. It's currently lent against the wall just below where it needs to go up.
If you take a tour around my house, you'll not see a single painting or mirror on any wall.
Yeah, but if you've put it near where it's going to end up,
No, it has.
That's a job half done, isn't it?
It is. I've shuffled them. I've distributed them. Behind my cooker, I've got this cooker. It's a big.
Is that steel plate?
I've got an aluminium plate. It's going to be on the wall, right?
I saw that. It's just a bunch of adhesive blotches.
Splodges, yeah, fell off while I was cooking Sunday lunch.
Wow.
And I mean, maybe if it hit the food, I'd have been more motivated. But I just can't be asked to put it back on. I told someone the other day it was a Damien Hirst.
What, the dot?
The splodges on the walls. I said Damien Hirst did that because I lie a lot.
It's called dot and dab.
Yeah, dot and dab. It's a new style. And actually, I'll put a photo. Actually, oh, great, John. That'll be really exciting. Yeah. Can hardly wait. It's going to be a great day, that one. On Christmas Day 2008, I accidentally put the child lock on the microwave combi oven, meaning I was no longer able to use the microwave part. Over 6 years later, it's still the same. Ironically, the only time I really need the microwave is to cook Christmas pudding, which was how it happened. As I can't be arsed steaming it for 10 hours. So every Christmas Day since, I have to ask my neighbour to do it. That's Louise, another of our woollyback friends in Wigan. Thank you very much indeed, Louise. Clap them in.
That's one of my favourites, that one.
Radio X. Johnny Vaughan.
X.
Now, as you know, if you listen every day, Gavin has a tale of, well, a hero.
Yes.
And I think today's no exception, as we hear... Because you are, Gav.
I am.
The best around.
In the room.
By that I mean locally. You're the best I know.
The best in central London.
You're the best in this studio who's got a hero now ready
to
for
talk
this
about.
slot.
Perfect.
Okay.
Today's hero is a man called Sohan Singh. You've worked in a shop before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Sunta, you've worked in a shop,
I
haven't
have.
Happiest days of my life.
Really?
Yeah,
You enjoyed it, did you?
No, it was good fun though. It was a real laugh. Looking back.
Anyway, I've worked in a shop before and I kind of enjoyed it, except for the customers.
Yeah, I find that as well.
Now, this man I'm crediting with providing the worst ever shopping experience for customers.
Go on.
Well, what he did was he essentially banned them from his shop.
He banned people from his shop.
Yeah, he started with prams, pets, smokers, and users of vulgar language. And he described himself as a man of principles and had had enough of rude customers when he decided the only way to stem the unruly behaviour was to ban everyone.
Genius.
So basically, when you went to his shop now, if you wanted to buy anything, you had to go to the shop and look through the window and point at what you wanted.
God, I love this guy. Anyone who's worked in a shop sympathise. You go, especially when you've been in a clothes shop and you were folding things.
Yes.
You often felt like going, just put it down, actually slapping people's hands.
That's
Stop
right.
it.
Yes.
Are you going to buy that? Well, just leave it.
Well, you had to point through the window, and then he would fetch it, and then you'd rang a bell, and he would serve it to you through a hatch in the door.
It's like
Brilliant.
going to a 24-hour garage there.
Yeah, it is. What he's done there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
But
it
it's-
a garage?
No, it's just a corner shop, as far as I know.
Okay.
It's in the Bermontoft district in Leeds. It's called Glenthorpe Stores. His name's Sohan Singh.
Gimmels.
A local lady, Catherine Little, said, "It's unbelievable. He doesn't get a lot of customers anyway." But he's banned the rest of
He's
them.
just banned them.
Sohan Singh.
Sohan Singh. The Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 thing. Salute you.
Radio
X. Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
83936. Thank you so much for texting in all your pants. We're going to dedicate the shout-outs to your pants. Gavin, are we ready?
We are.
Listen, right. What do you think, right? Listen, you know it. You show it, you stick that in the ground, you grow it. Yeah, you get me?
Ain't even gonna lie, though, yeah?
Still do, right? Even still. Hit it. Shout out for my son's pants, Maxi Poo. Always having to pick them up, please. Haley in the Ham, Beckenham.
Shout out to my dad for buying me a
20
20-pack of new pants.
Pants.
Fresh pair of pants is the best way to start the day.
Boom. Shout out to my white lacy pants. First day of wearing uniform, white blouse, black skirt, therefore white bra. Therefore I must match the pants. Love Ginger Kel.
Hey, Johnny and gang, not including Little Sai. For poor horning, I'd like to big up my Borat Mankini for making my nipples itch from David Norfolk. Booyah.
I'm 46, short and fat, nah say. Got me some of them David Beckham pants. Proper treat for my lucky wife. That's Rob from K Wood, you get me, in the place to be.
Shout out to my everyday bra. Unfortunately, it had broke today, though, yeah?
Yeah.
With the underwire came out and is currently stabbing my left boob.
Yeah.
Done me well. I have to save up every year to buy a job flop from Bravissimo.
Boop, boop, boop. Boop.
You know that.
You know that. At a man like Chris in Southport when I'm not very well aware my poorly pants.
Shout out to my pheasant pants, which I only wear on dates or shooting. Either way to make me lucky with the birds. And he's stuck trying to escape the London.
It's a London thing. Keep it locked. You know that. Right, even still, right? No, but even still. But listen, ain't even gonna lie, right? What do you say?
Radio X. Johnny Vaughan.
Are you ready for this, Gav?
Go on.
Where do you stand, incidentally, on Donald Trump?
Preferably on his face.
Good man. A Paralympic swimmer was disqualified from a race because his Olympic tattoo broke the rules on advertising. It's got nothing to do with Donald Trump. I know, I just said that by myself time. Donald Trump was not involved in this incident. A Paralympic swimmer was disqualified from a race because his Olympic tattoo broke the rule on advertising. What an extraordinary world we live in.
Joking.
Joseph Craig, 19, Team GB's youngest gold medalist at London 2012, was banned from the S8 100-metre freestyle final after failing to cover up the Olympic rings on his chest. I tell you why he was banned. Because it's someone's job to look out for that.
Yeah.
Athletics is it's a real blazered sport, isn't it?
Well,
it's why when I look at the Olympic javelin,
yeah,
I'm always thinking, go for one of the guys with the blazer.
Yeah, go and ping one of the judges.
No one minds about that. No, they're just men in blazers.
No, but really, the judges should just have cork suits.
Yeah.
And then you just aim for them, yeah.
Yeah, or hats.
Yeah.
It's all poking out.
With a target on them,
yeah. Exactly right. No, just go straight through them, Gav. They wear blazers. If you wear blazers...
Just run them through.
If you're wearing blazers and a white flannel, that 2 words, legitimate target. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying by the roadside, but I'm just saying... That is a job. So that's because it's someone's job to look out for signs of advertising. If the Olympic rings is advertising, those rings have always just stood for there's one for each continent, I think, and they represent the whole world coming together and being unified. I'd say it's just like having the word peace.
Yeah.
That's what the Olympic means. It's like having, I agree that once every 4 years the world should come together in a spirit of harmony to find out the fastest, strongest, longest. That's it.
Yeah.
How can that be advertising? Because it's someone's job. It's another trademark. That's why.
It's legal.
I'm afraid,
it's a legal issue.
I'm afraid that's a trade. Why don't you sue the tattooist? Anyway, this guy here, I was just wondering, Sunta, if you could have any product, you've got tattoos. If you could have any product placed, if you could have product placed, what product would you have? If you could have any logo.
What's it going to get me?
Oh, a lot.
Good point, Sunta.
A lot. No, but if you had to literally, you like one brand so much, you'd have it tattooed right there. What would you have?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a really hard question.
It's there permanently on your forehead.
On my forehead?
Yes, it has to be the forehead.
Okay, I'm going for the McDonald's
arches.
Well, on your forehead.
The golden arches.
And how much? Okay, how much would it cost you if I wanted a tattoo? I did once interview a guy who got a pizza delivery number. tattooed on his forehead.
Why?
Because this girl then said she'd go out with him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
doesn't
interviewed
work
him.
like
I
that.
interviewed
People
him.
stop going out with someone because they get a pizza delivery
She
number
said
tattooed on
if he got the local pizza delivery number tattooed on his forehead, she would go out with him. He got it done. He got it
He's
done.
an idiot.
No, do you know what she said afterwards?
Dumped him.
I was joking. Of course I was joking. And the point was he looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
What would you go for, Gav?
Oh, it's a tough one.
Fender.
Yeah. No, Gibson. Always Gibson for me.
Would you?
Yeah, always, yeah.
I go Ford.
I like the fat sound of a Les Paul.
I go Ford.
Would you?
I go Ford Transit Custom, having looked at them. Defo, in mirror writing.
X.
That was the Johnny Vaughan 4 till 7 thing podcast. I think it was quite entertaining.
It was quite entertaining.
It was quite entertaining, wasn't it, Sunta?
Maybe a little better than quite entertaining.
Do you think?
a little
Why have you gone into a
better.
news voice? Why have you gone on news voices? Have you started drinking already? Just because podcast doesn't mean you can drink.